Arin stood at the base of the mountain they called the Impossible, his boots sinking into the damp, heavy soil. On their porches, the village elders watched with eyes full of ancient dread, pointing gnarled fingers at the jagged gray peaks. "No one returns," they muttered, clutching their tea as if it were a shield. But Arin only adjusted his pack, felt the steady weight of his compass, and began to walk. The first day offered a gentle, deceptive slope. But by the second, the trail vanished into a treacherous maze of slick, moss-covered shale. Arin slipped, his palms scraping against the sharp, unforgiving rock, drawing blood. He did not turn back. Instead, he pulled out his notebook and scribbled a truth for himself. Fear is just the sound of a heartbeat in the silence. He was no longer just climbing a mountain. He was facing his own pulse. On the third day, a wall of suffocating fog swallowed the path. He felt his way forward, hand over hand, until he reached the infamous cliff. Carved deep into the stone were the words, "Turn back." Impossible ahead. Arin took a chisel and added his own question. Impossible according to whom? He waited for hours in the silence. As the sun shifted, the shadows retreated to reveal a narrow, frost-free ledge that only appeared for a fleeting moment each day. 3 days later, the water ran dry. His knees buckled under the agonizing strain of the final ascent. Every breath was a rattle in his chest as he slumped against a cold boulder. A dark voice in his head hissed, "Turn back! You have done enough!" There is no shame in stopping here. But Arin closed his eyes and remembered his grandfather's warning about the stories we tell ourselves. He forced his feet to move. 1 inch, then another. When he finally hauled his broken body onto the summit, there was no gold, no magic, and no grand prize. Instead, he found a vista of 100 hidden paths, weaving through the clouds routes that everyone else had ignored because they were too afraid to look. He stood there for an hour, mapping the truth of the world from the top of his conquered fear. Arin returned with only his tattered notebook. "I stopped listening to the stories of others," he told the disappointed crowd. Years later, the villagers finally began to climb. They learned that the mountain was never the barrier. The barrier was the story they had chosen to believe.